First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now. As always, appreciate you joining us wherever you're watching. We start every weekday at 1 p.m. Pacific. We are on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on our apps. We're on our website. So lots of places to find this show. And we cover a wide range of topics. But right now, we're going to talk about your car, your vehicles, and how much technology is incorporated in them. And I think we all know that by now, that more and more that is what's happening. But what's the future going to look like? How much is it going to be changing? It's a lot, and it's kind of exciting to talk about. And that's why joining us right now from Intel, the VP and GM of Intel Automotive, we've got Jack Weast with us. And Jack, thank you, for joining us for this kind of a conversation. I think this stuff is always exciting to see where technology is going, and certainly you're at the forefront of that. And thanks for joining us.
My pleasure, Greg. It's awesome to be here.
And I think to start off, just so in case anybody doesn't know, the Consumer Electronics Show, CES, which takes place in Vegas every year, the biggest technology show really in the world, I would say. And it's a huge showcase of really the cutting edge for so many different companies, and Intel certainly being one of them that was there. And maybe for everybody just to kind of catch up on where you're at, can you talk a little bit about what you showcased there at CES this year?
Sure. So this year at CES, and like you say, it's an incredible show, hundreds of thousands of people, and it's a place for technology companies like us to announce our latest and greatest. And so we were really proud to announce three new PC products. The first ultra high performance laptop product that gives you an opportunity to do high-end gaming, media streaming, things like that while on the go. A brand new desktop product that gives significant performance improvements in office applications that we use every day. And then for those people that love those thin and light notebooks, a new product line that delivers incredible efficiency, but at a price point that you and I could afford.
Yeah, that is certainly something that, thinner is always nice, at least for me. I like that, as long as I don't drop it and break it. But it's having something that's portable like that, but having that processing power in there too. That's always just a great addition.
And in addition, we talked a little bit about the automotive industry, as you mentioned. Yeah, so
yes,
it's a crazy time to be in automotive. We're at a point in history in the automotive industry where our cars are going to look completely different by the end of the decade than they look like today. Where you buy a car today, you drive it off the lot, its features and functionality don't change for the lifetime that you own that vehicle. But that's changing as cars become more software defined. And so we had some exciting things that we announced with partners and the entire automotive industry this last week at CES.
and I think that is such an interesting dynamic too between the hardware of what you actually have to have for a vehicle, but combining it with that high-end software that can upgrade over time and change and adapt. And let's talk about that. Let's get into this and talk about where Intel is at, and maybe what you're talking about at CES, but really going into these partnerships as well that you have with automotive manufacturers.
Yeah, as consumers, I think about that transition from those old feature flip phones to the smartphones that we have today. And we're about to see a very similar transition happen in automotive, where that vehicle is going to get major software upgrades every 6 months. That's going to change the capabilities of your vehicle as you know it. It's going to become a more personal part of your digital experience. And we're bringing the AI PC technologies that we've announced to the world into the vehicle. So the vehicle can not only be smarter, but more personal and predict and understand your needs in advance of you having to do them.
So it really is personalizing your vehicle so much more than what we're used to.
Yeah, it really is. Whether it's predicting what you might need in terms of adjusting the temperature, or it's helping you on the go summarize a meeting that you just had. So while you're driving, asking your Chat GTP voice assistant, hey, can you give me a summary of that meeting? Can you draft an email for me so it's ready in the office when you get there? So during your drive, all of these kinds of applications that we're bringing to the AI PC, we're now going to bring in the car so you can enjoy those enhanced experiences there as well.
So all that processing power is going to be on board within the vehicle itself.
Yeah, that's a great point. We think about AI as being a cloud use case, but Intel, we're really trying to bring AI everywhere, which means bring that power of AI to the devices that we carry around with us and use on a daily basis. And so as we do that, and as we bring AI into the PC, and we have hundreds of millions of PCs and someday hundreds of millions of cars on the road with that capability, everything that we do is going to be made more personal and more intelligent, courtesy of those AI technologies.
I love that idea of having some of those abilities in there, like you mentioned, using ChatGPT to or something similar to that, to sum up a meeting or to make an appointment, and then also even just to personalize the temperature. But looking at it even further, what kinds of specific features do you think consumers could enjoy or use when it comes to that cross functionality between the software that you provide and the hardware of the automotive manufacturer?
Yeah, so I think you think about the in-vehicle experience and how it's going to evolve. And in fact, we announced this last week, a partnership with a company called Zeekr, who's a China electric vehicle manufacturer. And they're using this technology to create what they call a living room experience inside the vehicle. And so you think about the things that you might do in your home, and how AI can help recommend movies and things that you might want to watch, or know what applications you're going to want to launch in advance, or if you're in a video conference like you and I are, have a fake background so people don't know you're in the car. All these kinds of things are possible when you bring AI technologies into the car, and it's going to be amazing to see how the auto industry evolves the vehicle as we know it, to be smarter, intelligent, and more efficient as well.
Is all of this just leading up to the moment when we have completely autonomous vehicles and self-driving cars?
Yeah, as the cars increasingly drive themselves, we've got time on our hands now that we could do something useful, and that might be entertainment, or it might be productivity. So a lot of those use cases we talked about for the AI PC, you can now enjoy in your car because your car becomes a mobile office on wheels. Think how much time we spend not just driving to and from work, but sometimes even between different sites. If you're a salesperson driving all over the city, that's a lot of productivity time that you can gain back. And so, as I said, whether you're doing things like having AI do automatic transcriptions, or you're driving to a customer, or you can talk to your car and say, "Hey, when's the last time I met this customer? Who was there? What did we talk about?" These kind of conversational AI enhanced use cases are going to make our lives so much more easy and comfortable. And so for Intel, this is what it means for us to bring AI everywhere, bring it to each and every one of us so that we can all enjoy the benefits of this technology.
And there's since AI really is being incorporated in so many different ways. I'm just curious from your standpoint. Some people are still a little bit hesitant. There's the worry of does AI know too much? How is it being trained? I guess how would you address any of those issues that people may have with AI and how it's being used?
Yeah, it's a really fair question. And I think at Intel, I'm proud that we've been known as one of the most ethical companies, in our history. And so we strongly believe in responsible AI and using AI responsibly, transparently, so that users understand what the technology is doing, and ensuring that your personal and private information is in fact protected. And that's actually one of the benefits of bringing AI, not just from in the cloud, but bringing it into the car, into your PC, because then a lot of that AI processing is done locally in the device that you're carrying, or using. And so we think that's all part of the spectrum of making AI a valuable technology, but make sure it's being deployed and used in a responsible manner.
I would imagine there's a lot of security features that would come with that too, just in case someone were to, steal the vehicle or something like that. But I could also see that as having a lot of protective functions in that if this is on board, with the software, and I don't know if this is something that you've gone into, but on board with the software, it knows the person that it's trained to. So maybe if someone was stealing it, that could actually provide some good safety features.
Yeah, it's a great example. There's some automakers out there that are delivering features where you might have an external camera on your car, and it recognizes you as you walk towards your car, automatically unlocks the car, maybe opens it. Or it might recognize a threat, somebody trying to break into the car. And so that AI intelligence could help protect your asset as well. So there's all sorts of interesting things that are going to happen in the future with this technology, and we couldn't be more proud to bring AI everywhere to every PC and every vehicle in the world.
And talking about the future of vehicles, how far out do you think we are before we have some of this integrated into some of the vehicles that we're purchasing?
Very soon, within the next year or so, you're going to see this technology in vehicles. And the transition to electric vehicles is another, important topic, and there's some important things that we can do to make those more energy efficient, and sustainable. So we also announced some collaborations with the industry to bring some of the power management techniques that we use today in PCs that allow you to have a 14-hour laptop, How about an electric vehicle with 500 or 1,000 miles of range? These are the kinds of opportunities that we have, and we also bring that AI intelligence to how we manage energy inside the vehicle as well. And that's part of Intel's commitment to help deliver a more sustainable future to the automotive industry.
So this would be something like managing the battery that's in there and managing the power that it's using to get the maximum capacity out of it.
Yeah, if you think about an electric vehicle today, if you're charging your electric vehicle, why is your driver assistance unit powered? If there's nobody in the back seat, why are the screens back there powered? There's lots of opportunity to turn off and on the different elements within your car that when they were previously behind a combustion engine, there's plenty of energy to go around. Now you've got this constrained energy source in terms of a battery, and so it's an opportunity to be more intelligent about how we're using that battery. The battery is also one of the most expensive and heaviest components of a vehicle. And so as we look towards, supply and demand curves for the raw materials, just being more efficient about the energy that we have contained in those battery devices just makes sense from an efficiency and sustainability standpoint, but is really going to be critical for the industry's growth going forward as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just figuring out how to manage that, and that's a really good point of all the things that are just draining some of that battery, and being able to get some more life out of those things. I guess just a couple more questions, and I know you're busy, so I appreciate your time. One thing though, I always want to know is, from your standpoint, what do you think is the thing that consumers and people out there who are going to buy one of these cars should be most excited about when they get to experience it?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think the main thing I'd say is, that when we buy those smartphones, that every 6 months there's going to be a major software upgrade. So it's knowing that when I drive this car off the lot and I own it for the next 5 years, 10 years, its capabilities are going to continue to evolve and change. And I think as we bring AI to the vehicle to complement AI and all the other devices like PCs that we carry around, you're going to see a blending of your digital self. Services and capabilities that you typically would use only on your PC might now be available into your car. And that personalization in terms of who's driving, who are the passengers, what radio presets should I use, what music should I automatically queue up, what games should I load for the kids in the back seat, really making that experience personal. And I think this is what we're going to be able to enjoy in a lot of these vehicles in the future.
I love it. I mean, that's just sounds so fun. Learning. I'm sure your planning and creativity meetings are a lot of fun to be at. But that kind of leads me to my last question too. For you being at the forefront of this and being one of these people who's bringing this out to auto manufacturers, to consumers, and working on this every day, what is it for you that's the most exciting thing for you to come to work every day and work on this?
Yeah, it's funny, I grew up in a car family. My dad's a car nut, still is a car nut. And so using my computer science degree for something useful in his view. But I think really what's fun about that is that we're witnessing a transformation of a century-old industry, where this industry is going to look completely different by the end of the decade than it looks like today. And so to be at the heart of that transformation and helping the automotive industry embrace AI and embrace software as a differentiator, not just the physical and mechanical features, is not only something that's thrilling to be part of, but it's going to be amazing to look back upon this time as the moment the vehicle changed forever. And we're
Yeah.
thrilled to be part of that.
And like you mentioned, your dad is cool with it because you're working on cars, so it all works out. Well, Jack, thank you very much for joining us today. Really appreciate your time to talk about this. It's always fascinating to know what's going on, and plus, Intel also being right here next to us here in Oregon, so very much a part of the fabric of the Northwest and around here. So it's really cool to learn more about what you're doing and what you're working on, and I'm excited to see it. I really want to see all this in action. So thank you very much for joining us and sharing that.
My pleasure, Greg. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one. All right, there we go. Jack Weast, VP and GM of Intel Automotive, joining us. So really appreciate that. And for everybody watching, of course, we have more coming up at 1:30 p.m. I'm going to be joined by Eric G. from Around the House Northwest to talk about frozen pipes. So I told you we cover a lot of different topics here on Fox 12 Now. if you had that happen, and unfortunately, a lot of people did, what do you do afterward? Well, we're going to discuss that and how you can manage that and what the steps are to do after that. So we'll have that, and of course, if there's any breaking news, we'll have that as well. We're going to sign off for right now, so we'll be back shortly. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.